Right, Knucklehead Nation, I'm back again with a really cool one this time with Mike Gutierrez from G Fit Kickboxing. How you feeling, sir?
Feeling great, man. Feeling good. Just staying in shape. We're doing my workouts today, double workouts, work in the morning, work at night, just staying consistent with it.
Yeah, man. Well, we were talking a little bit earlier, and you already said you got your first workout out the way, and right after this interview, I think you're headed on to the second one, right?
A little bit later, I usually get my second workout around 3 because my first one I do early. I get around like 7:30 in the morning. I do my a little more weights, explosive exercises, and then at night come back in for my cardio. So that's why I'll come back in around 3. Do a little circuit, hit the bag. hmm
Man, I gotta respect it, man. Like, cause I've seen you around for a little bit now. As I was telling you, I've seen you from your first fight at Fightersrep to now, and obviously, at the end of the day, I could tell, man, you're a professional in everything that you do. This guy, he was one of the first guys to hit me back up, be like, "Hey, man, you got the link, you got everything set up," and he's just on top of everything.
Oh, I mean,
So I gotta ask, how do you kind of balance that all? Because I believe you have a family as well. You run your own gym, and you're an active athlete.
exactly. That's just the balance, like I try to project onto the members here. There's always a million excuses, but you always got to make time. Like, yeah, I run a business. I was like, I have classes, clients, but obviously, I got to make time for my workouts. Make time for my family, my two little boys. Even when I'm off, even if it's only I have a little 2 hour break, I'm gonna go try to take them to the park real quick. If I need to drop them off, my parents they watch them, so drop them back off, and then come back to the gym, work out, teach class again. So it's all about prioritizing the necessities, obviously family, so the gym, and then if I have time for some fun once in a while, then that's cool. But obviously, what I do here is fun, so I love it here, and obviously, I love my kids, so everything I do is just fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's get a little bit more. You were telling me a bit about the background of the gym. If you could go over that one more time about how G Fit kind of started and almost kind of what it represents now and the legacy of the gym that you want to keep bringing forward.
Of course. So it used to be. I used to work at a UFC gym for I think almost 8 years, and then some of the staff that are still with me today, like my coach Roman and the coach we have here, Paul. We all came from the UFC gym, and obviously, unfortunately, at that time, ended up closing down during the COVID. But I took that as an opportunity. I ended up buying all the equipment and opening my own gym. And a lot of the members that were there, they followed us, and they love what not only me but obviously some other coaches, what we do, how we teach, and they want to follow us here, and I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, obviously, how they like me, the staff, and how we teach them, and they want to thrive off of that. So. But right now, GFit Kickboxing, I says we're more just like I tell people, it's a fun family gym. Obviously, you're gonna learn technique, you're gonna learn how to defend yourself, but we're just here to have a good time, get a good workout. I tell people when you're forcing yourself to work out and you don't have a good time, it can drag on. But if you go to a place, good community, good friends, and you enjoy the workout, like I says, it doesn't really feel like working out. You're here having a good time, get a good sweat, and then you go home just feeling so much better.
I love that, man. Like that's one of the things I preach to everybody, just as someone who loves to train and gets into fitness as well. I tell everybody the exact same thing, man. Like if it's a job, you're not going to want to do it. But if it's fun, it's a stress reliever, it's what you look forward to at the end of the day or even the start of the day, you're going to need it. It's like medicine, if anything.
It,
It is medicine actually in my opinion,
it
but
is. Yeah,
man,
like I
that's
says,
awesome.
yeah, so like for example, I tell people in morning classes, obviously you want to get the workout in the get it done early, come in, get it out of the way, that we have the rest of the day to do stuff. And then we have our night class where I tell people, you know what, sometimes you had a stressful day at work and you need to let some anger out, let some stress out. Kicking a bag is the best place to do that.
There's a lot worse things you can do to get your anger out, so most definitely.
Exactly.
Man, that's awesome, man. Like I kind of like that, the fact that obviously you're an active competitor, you have actual fighters as coaches, but at the end of the day, it's a family environment. You could
Oh yeah.
take a young kid off the street, come in, he can build himself up, build that healthy lifestyle, and build those great habits for the rest of his life
Yeah,
or
so
her life.
especially the youth programs. Excuse me. Like that's why I try to teach the kids. Obviously, it's not about fighting to hurt someone, and it's about fighting to defend yourself. Obviously, if the time comes, it's needed to be. But obviously, again, I want them to do something where they're having fun. We're not forced to do stuff. Play a sport maybe they don't like. They're forced to do things in their whole life. It's like I want them to come here, have fun, have a good time. That way they can keep coming, and and obviously learn from it to take into the future. So
Again, that's awesome, man. I gotta ask though. Obviously, you have a built-in following. You fight out of your own gym. You help train yourself through the assistance of a few gentlemen like Roman, and I think we were talking about it, Brandon Avila. Shout out to that man. Um, so you do have help, but there's got to be a bit of pressure every time you step in the lion's den, man. The fact that you're representing your own gym. You brought your own crowd. I'm sure all these people that come to your gym look up to you, and what's it kind of like handling that pressure every time you step in, knowing you got an army backing you?
honestly, it was a little hard at first, like the pressure, and like especially the first fight where like I kind of told you, like I take nothing away from Leon, but I
Lion.
definitely had that ring rust. I felt myself hesitating too much, second guessing myself. So when the fight was over, like obviously I was disappointed in myself, but I felt I did like to let the gym down a little bit. Obviously again I do represent it. I'm the owner, so but going to the next fight, I told myself, obviously, even with the support I have from my friends and family, the gym members, like, they told me I did a good job. You'll get it next time. And that's when I realized, you know what, win or lose, like, they're going to back me up. They support me. Obviously, they love me. They're not just going to, like, I was saying, if people love you, you're a winner, they're not really your friends, obviously. So I lost, and they stood right by me, supported me, telling me, hey, let's keep going, get them next time. And I appreciate that. So obviously, the next fight, just try to go with a different mindset. Got that first fight out, and then I was like, all right, I said, put the gas on the pedal. Got that second win, actually the first win, then the second win. And now I'm trying to go for that 3 in a row right now. So
I do got to say too, for that being your first win at Fighters Rep, that's probably one of my favorite, like, just check left knockouts I've seen in a long, long time, especially in the
thank you,
amateur ranks. That's probably honestly number one. Like, if I had to rank it in check
thank you,
lefts that I've
appreciate
seen in amateurs,
that.
like, man, that was no easy feat. Your opponent, he came out guns blazing, pushing the
Mm-hmm.
aggression, coming right at you from the start of the belt, and you just stayed calm, cool, collected, take a step left back, and just drop the guy. Like, there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even a follow punch. It was just perfectly timed, man. I got to ask you about that knockout. Like, take me through what that was like.
Obviously, definitely reviewing the tapes, like all fighters do. And I noticed he did come out a little aggressive all most of his fights, excuse me. So I told myself, all right, he's gonna come out. He says, guns blazing, just stay calm, stay tight, protect yourself, and just wait for your opening. So obviously, he came out. I remember, I think I landed him with a hook earlier, and then obviously kept on going, and then he threw that teep. And as soon as he threw that teep, I could just see his body, how as tired as he was from going so hard. So when he came back off those ropes, I just threw that hook, and he fell down. He just went down. So
Man,
yeah, like I says, it felt good. Like I says, obviously it's the staying calm under the pressure. Obviously, like I tell when we're sparring here with some of our members here, it's like you're gonna get hit. You can't obviously move, get out of the way of every punch. So you gotta take some hits, block some hits, and then just look for your openings. And that's what I did.
well, like you said, it's exactly what you did. You stuck to the game plan, and it obviously paid off, man. Um, Now I gotta ask a little bit too, man, about this upcoming fight you got. Obviously, you're on the win streak. You've had, coming off a few tough opponents. You just fought Anders Borg. That was a great back and forth fight that you won unanimously. And now you're entering, I believe, your first fight without headgear and shin guards. Is that playing in your head a little bit, or
You know what? I was
what's
actually
going
going to follow up with that because I wasn't sure. You mean if that is, I'm been excited. I I've heard different rule changes, with the whole amateur kickboxing. So I wasn't sure
on?
about that. But I mean, if it is the first fight without headgear and shin guards, I've been waiting for that. I've been wanting that. Obviously, I don't like the headgear either, and obviously, shin guards are fun. But let's get kicks, and I want to feel that bone to bone. It hurts, but like I said, when you're in there, you have that adrenaline rushing. It doesn't hurt that bad.
And I gotta go out and say, we've said it on multiple the Fighters Rep podcast, multiple of these interviews, and I'm gonna go out here and say it again, man. You can literally look at the studies. I personally don't think headgear really provides that much protection from brain damage. And on top of it as well, I think it really affects head movement. You see some guys, they don't get hit as much without headgear. And actually, just in the chat, I believe, George himself just kind of hopped in and said, "You will be fighting with no headgear or shin guards, Mike." So
Oh yeah,
it is the
do
way
it.
you want it. And like I said, I really think headgear is just, it's really just a bad visual that only makes things, it doesn't make things much safer.
It-
I think personally being able to move your head out of the way and having great head movement will keep you way safer than any headgear.
exactly. Like I says, not only again, like he says, it does make your head bigger in a sense, so you're more likely to take a few more hits, and obviously it messes with your eye, your vision, your perception. So again, you're less likely to see certain punches, and you get hit a little bit more. So again, I completely agree with that. Headgear is not for the best. It's better without it.
Exactly. Now, what do you make of your opponent, Milshawn Lathan, man? Like, obviously, we were talking earlier. Your first fight, was up at a little bit of a bigger weight class. Me believing you could be smaller than anybody, I still find it shocking for as jacked as you are. Um, but this one, obviously, you have 200 your belt at more of your natural weight class, and then first fight with no headgear and no shin guards. And then obviously you got a game opponent, man. You got who's obviously got that G fit style, you know, jack to the nines, taking on another big guy.
I'm excited. I remember watching a little bit of his fight on the last Fightersrep at the actual event. I haven't had a chance to watch his tapes yet, but obviously I will sit down, watch those, review them. But I mean, other than that, to me, it's another opponent. I mean, I'm always game, doesn't matter who it is. I'm excited. I love doing this. Like I always tell people, I don't like hurting people, but to me, fighting in general, the back and forth, the hitting, getting hit, is fun. I don't mind it. So when it goes in there, like I said, with no headgear, like I said, that excites me. No headgear, no shin guards. So I'm excited. I'm pumped now. So I'm ready.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Like I said, man, I've enjoyed every fight you've had so far. Win, lose, or draw, you always come to bang, man. You always come, and what I like about you is, again, you can see an improvement from each fight. That first one, as you had mentioned, you had a little bit of ring rust. You were up a weight class. You had some things going on against you. Second one, highlight reel knockout. The one after that, complete technical unanimous decision, man. So I gotta ask, it seems like you've done it all. Can I get a little bit of prediction for this next fight?
Um, so just confirm. Actually, to go back. The last fight was actually a TKO. It was
Oh,
decision. Yeah, I the ref stopped it. I think like the very end of the third round, but it was a TKO. So
you're right. I apologize. It was
no
very
worries.
close to the end.
Yeah. So right now in my head, I got 2 finishes in a row. I'm gonna go for that third, whether it's a knockout, TKO. I'm in there to go for the finish.
Hmm.
I don't really go for the points. Like if you win by decision, it's cool, but to win by knockout is knowing to say, hey, you know what, I did win this. Where a decision, like says, you leave in the hands of the judges. Some give it to you, some go against you. So it's always that back and forth of, hey, who won? But a knockout's a knockout. There's no saying, oh, I think he won. I think he won. It's like he won. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the finish.
That's awesome, man. I'm real excited for that. Well, sir, I want to get into a little bit more too, man. Like, obviously, you know, you got the gym, you got everything. You know, after this fight, what could be potentially next for Mike Gutierrez?
Um, I honestly I want to keep fighting for as long as I can. I was like, I'm having fun. Obviously, I'm not the youngest guy in there, but I took a lot of time off just for life in general, and then I just got that itch again, last year. So I started fighting again, and I still have the itch. So as long as I have the itch and I want to keep competing, I'll keep competing. I have no end goal or any desire to do anything. It's just more I want to keep fighting. Whoever they put in front of me, whoever they want to give me, I'll accept the fight.
Well, regardless of whatever age you're at, man, one thing that I also was going to ask too, because you had mentioned a little bit about a little bit of your strength and conditioning program, but you never gas. I've yet to see you gas in a fight. You've gone all rounds, you've finished guys. I got to ask, what's the secret, to your cardio and explosiveness?
So I mean, besides obviously being active my whole life ever since I was a little kid. Like I said, I played hockey since I was 6 years old. I played until I was about I stopped playing it for a few years ago, but so I've always been that competitive in hockey. Getting hit is nothing new to me in there. So, and then obviously I started fighting when I was 16. So I mean, honestly, I've been active for my whole life, but fight camp, I tell people, is different. You can be active, you can stay in shape, but when you're training for a fight, it's a whole another level. And that's how you have to train every day. You have to train that the other guy is working harder than you, that they're working on the other guy is trying to, in a sense, hurt you. So you got to train harder. So you got to train to exhaustion so you don't get exhausted in the ring. I want to push myself to limits where I am tired. I am exhausted. I am thinking, that back in my mind, like, hey, let's just, slow down, stop. And you guys are like, no, the other guy's working harder. He's working harder than you. Don't let that happen. Work harder than him. Just keep pushing, pushing, pushing.
That's awesome, man. Well, I know you're a busy guy, so I won't take up too much of your time. That leads me to my final question. Obviously, I got the prediction from you. Another knockout, hopefully, to continue the streak of knockouts. And then, any shout outs you want to make to any friends, family, sponsors, anyone?
Obviously my friends and family, my close friends, close family, everyone supports me, everything I do. They never, even though obviously I live from parents, they're a little concerned, a little worried about, how I'll end up, but they support me nonetheless, 100%. They're always there for all my fights, and I'm very thankful for them. All my close friends, the members who come to support me, I just want to thank everyone, because again, win or lose, I know they're going to be there for me. I'm their coach, I'm their friend, and they, like I said, they're always going to be there for me, and I appreciate that. Those are the real ones right there.
All right, man. Well said. Knucklehead Nation, you're not going to want to miss this fight. Mike G. Fit Gutierrez taking on Milshawn Lathan at Fightersrep 19. You can follow the link below and go to fightersrep.com to get your tickets. You're not going to want to miss this one. This is going to be an absolute war. Both guys are coming trying to finish each other. Both guys are fit. Both guys are ready. This is going to be an absolute banger of a fight. You're not going to want to miss it. And thank you again, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.